Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Timeless Podcast here on a sunny, I hope, Friday morning, afternoon, or evening. I'm Alex, joined by my co-host, as always, George.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And this is our first...
We're in isolation. The UK is on shutdown. Thanks, KSI.
I want that shut down.
I want that shut down. Mess up your system. Make it... Yeah.
So this since last week we were joking about isolation and all that, and now
yes, we're
here.
Mhm.
Well, at least we've got a leader that isn't as incompetent as Donald Trump, who he called it the China virus.
Did he?
Two weeks ago he called it a myth, and now yesterday he went, we all knew how serious the coronavirus would be.
We all knew how serious the coronavirus was. We just didn't do anything about it.
And then a reporter asked him, what would you say to the people of America right now that are scared? And he went, what a stupid question. You're an idiot reporter. I bet you work for WikiLeaks and stuff like that.
I bet you work for WikiLeaks. Oh, he's an idiot, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit of an idiot.
Oh, he's a bit of a dum-dum.
But George, obviously, things aren't that busy, but what have you been up to this week?
Disney Plus! Disney Plus is now a thing!
Yes!
Yes! So,
I'm...
Our deal, mine and Alex's deal, is he pays for Netflix, I pay for Disney Plus. So I hopped on that subscription, and
it's the best thing in the world.
It is. It is.
I got woke up at what was it? It must have been about 8:30, and you just sending me 3 messages.
And you were like, "Is this what I think it is?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I made a very dirty joke.
I mean, to be fair, I'll just give a hint. The way our country are going, and they may give it out for free to us as well, just like they did the Italians. So we'll
I was going to say, Chris Hemsworth, he has an online fitness app, and he was just like, "Okay, so I'm basically giving away my app for 6 weeks, just free to everybody. So go ahead and get fit whilst you're on coronavirus." I was like, "Fair enough, lad. Fair enough."
Get buff like Hemsworth.
I wish I could, lad. I wish I could.
But I love food too much.
I love food too much.
So George, what have you been watching on the Disney Plus?
So there are so many new things on there that naturally I went to watch a show that I've already seen dozens of times. I've restarted watching Gravity Falls because it's one of the best shows ever. It's so good. I love Gravity Falls to bits. I've started rewatching that. I've got a bunch of stuff on my lists and everything that if anybody saw, they'd immensely judge me for.
Our lists are quite similar.
Yeah,
because we grew up in the same generation of Disney and all that. My friend made a point to me that he doesn't think he's ever going to click on National Geographic.
No, to be fair, I feel. Yeah, to be fair, I don't think
poor old Goldblum.
Yeah, poor Goldblum, poor Attenborough.
Attenborough's not on National Geographic yet.
Is he not?
That Disney money might. If there's an Attenborough documentary on there, I'm clicking that.
I'm pretty sure there is.
You best believe. But no. I've started watching Lilo and Stitch, the series, because there's nothing better in the history of Disney than Lilo and Stitch. It's just weird.
A lot of other stuff.
Except a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But no, there was a big thing that me and George discovered about a TV show we actually wanted to watch, but it's not in the right order.
Yeah, so Phineas and Ferb, what's going on with that on Disney Plus? So the first series, everybody knows that the first episode of Phineas and Ferb was the roller coaster, and then it goes on to the backyard beach, right? Sure. That's how I remember it.
I remember the roller
coaster. For some
coaster.
reason, the series 1 on Disney Plus starts with the time travel episode. And the first 2-3 episodes just aren't on there. Which not? I'm like, no, I don't think they are. I don't think they're actually on there at all.
Because from series 2 to 4, they're all in sync again and they're all sorted. It's just episode 1.
It's really weird.
But no, I decided to look into the Disney Plus originals.
Yeah.
And I found, so they made this High School Musical series.
Yeah.
But do you know what it's called? Because it makes no sense.
It's just called High School Musical, the series, right?
No, it's called High School Musical, the musical, the series. So it's called High School Musical.
Musical series.
High School Musical, the musical.
But High School Musical was already a musical.
Exactly, yeah.
That's why it's called High School Musical.
Jesus Christ.
It's Jason Bourne.
It's Jason Bourne. All I know is that all my time in self-isolation when I'm not doing college work that I'm meant to be doing will be spent
on Disney Plus.
Have you seen what my new Disney Plus icon is yet? Have you?
Oh yeah, it's Baymax, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lad.
Because yours is Dipper from.
Yeah, mine's Dipper from Gravity Falls. Because I am forever.
I was thinking. I know this is weird to discuss, but it shows how good we are at planning. I was thinking next week we could chat about the first 2 episodes of Mandalorian.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
Because obviously we're doing this 2 Doctor Who episodes a month thing, and then non-Who episodes. So yeah, Mandalorian. There's 2 episodes out at the minute. There might be 3 by the time that next.
There are 2 episodes out on Disney Plus UK. I'd like to point out. So we're quite far behind, but we've waited this long to watch it. So
also,
we're gonna do it proper.
By the way, George, I just want to say there were some comments that my friends sent me. Some of them were really nice, just saying thanks for making a pod during the time. We'll always be making pods.
Was one of them about how pissy I go about
One of them thought you were going through the menopause.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
do with that what you will.
Man, don't be saying shit about my Zeldies.
We also got a comment within a minute of the video saying good job, and it was from a YouTube channel called Glenn from Canada. So hi Glenn from Canada, that you're totally not a bot.
Yes, indeed.
Gotta love Glenn from Canada. Big ups to Glenn. But yeah, just it's a mad time. Normally we'd be like, "What have you been up to?" And they'd be like,
"We haven't really been up to much.
We did this." But no, yeah, we've just been staying inside and all that, which you should be doing if you're not already.
Did I tell you earlier that apparently the London Tube was busier today than it was yesterday? And today is the day that they were like, everything's shut down. It's ridiculous. People need to just understand that if you're staying inside, you're not spreading this disease to anybody. And it means that we can slowly defend our immunities off of it. So that way it's not going to come back. Like...
Yeah, but George, if I get corona, I get corona. Like... Do you know? No, obviously I'm trying to imitate an American twat on spring break. There was a photo. Excuse me. There's a photo from New Zealand of a stall with a line coming through the parking lot, and it's people buying firearms.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
What
are they gonna do with a gun against the coronavirus?
Shoot it.
It's ridiculous.
It's just strange, isn't it? It's really.
It is. It feels like it shouldn't be happening, but it is.
It feels like a mad dream. Like we had a chat yesterday over Snapchat, which is always the best place to have a chat, and you were just like, it's gonna be super weird when we see people again and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I reckon there will be 3 types of people. There'll be the ones who think, all right, I've got all this time, let's better myself. There's gonna be the people who just sit there eating their bulk bought food, and come out like £3 3 stone heavier, and then there's going to be the people who come out and haven't shaved and have completely forgotten how to be around other human beings and all of that stuff.
Well, I've never shaved, so.
Have you not? You've shaved.
No, I'm smooth as baby's bottom, me. Never
You've shaved.
No,
yes,
I haven't.
You have. No way.
No, genuinely, I only get these. This is talking about myself.
These stray hairs.
I get these sideburns that get shaved off when I get my haircut, but I haven't shaved.
Oh.
So it grows from the sides, but nothing on the chin or the moustache just yet.
Well, there you go.
This is a weird show because there's no news.
No, let's talk about all of the live watching and stuff like that.
Yes, there is.
So this is the first time that the news bits come up, and I've actually got stuff to talk about.
There was a brilliant.
Basically, it's been a Doctor Who just in social media over the last couple of weeks whilst the coronavirus has been going on has been lifesaver. It's been a giant notion of live viewings of Day of the Doctor. I think last Thursday, wasn't it? And
Nah, it was Saturday. 7
was it
PM.
Saturday?
Hashtag save the day. It got
Save the day.
It got number one trending.
Yeah, and now they're doing for the 15th anniversary of Rose, they're doing a live viewing and releasing some unreleased content. And Russell T Davies has gotten
Did you see the unreleased Day of the Doctor intro?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I'm going to send it to you now so you can watch the first 5 seconds, just so you understand how ridiculous it is. Right.
Okay.
This is really...
Are you sending it to me on Discord?
I'm just going to link a Twitter thing to you, but I'll send it to you on Discord.
Thank you.
No worries. And scroll. And then share. Just so you know what to expect when this new release content comes for Rose, right? By the way, will you be joining the Rose one? Because I know you didn't stick around for.
I think I might.
You need to join Twitter. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Just give that a watch for 5 seconds.
Oh my god. Oh. Okay. Oh.
Just keep watching. This is just.
Oh, so the Masters turned him into a.
Yeah.
Okay, right, no, just because we're on the podcast, I'm not going to watch the entire thing. What is that? Is it literally going to be a Rose action figure?
Maybe it's going to be something fun, isn't it?
That's so funny. I didn't see that before.
But no, this was created by someone from Doctor Who magazine. Because I think, or just out coronavirus, but I think also when their family members got it.
Yeah.
As well. So, wishing all the best. Thoughts and prayers go out to you.
Well, they go out to anybody who
has
being affected. Even people who don't, who are just being affected by it in negative ways. Love to all of you.
It's a tricky time in the UK.
It is.
Harriet Jones, MP for Fly Down North.
Well, yes, and know who you are.
However, so yeah, the hashtag is Trip of a Lifetime for Rose.
Yeah.
And it will start on the 26th, which is 2 days from now, so Thursday at 7 PM. If you're on Twitter, well, you already would have seen it, but use the hashtag Save the Day. Please use the hashtag, what is it? Trip of a Lifetime. Save the Day was the last one. This is just really badly written. Russell T Davies will be joining Twitter.
He already has, I think.
Brilliant. I think Stephen Moffat's sticking around. By the way, Stephen Moffat's Twitter is the best. He literally went, waiting for my cameo to pop up, and everyone was like, what? And then it's the scene with the rabbit, and he goes, that rabbit costume was really difficult to get into. He was like, originally we had Peter Cushing in there, but we couldn't get the rights and stuff.
That's great.
Also, by the way, he said, if you guys haven't read the novelisation, the novelisation of The Doctor starts with the War Doctor having sex with one of the members of Sister of Khan.
You're joking?
No! If you want to read the target novelisation of Day of the Doctor, it starts off with the War Doctor coming out of bed with one of the members of the Sisterhood of Khan. He said, I didn't write that one.
I didn't. Trying to you can't fool us, Moffat. We know what you're about.
And then he says one thing he regrets is adding the plot point of the things coming out of the paintings. Because he said he wished to use that for a whole episode rather than just to get this story going. But no. I get Day of the Doctor. What's your opinion of Day of the Doctor?
It's a good nostalgia trip for me.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is no better scene than when it's like, no sir, all 13, and it's just
no, for me the best scene in that entire thing is when Matt Smith's like, I was a different man back then, and then suddenly you hear ba 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 ba, and it's like 1596 or whatever, and then suddenly David Tennant's there on fucking Arthur the Horse. It's so good.
Moffat did confirm that was Arthur, because in the original canon it's not Arthur the Horse.
Oh man.
So Moffat has changed canon again. Anyway, do you want to get into some merchandise? The merch is still rolling, baby.
Is it? Go on.
So George, do you remember what must be about 6 weeks ago? What we did in a Friday lesson on Amazon?
I thought we said we wouldn't talk of that.
Well, we're going to.
I'm joking.
On a Friday, we were just scrolling through Amazon page for page, looking at a certain object or different variants.
Whoa! Okay, yeah, this is. I thought we said never to tell this story.
Cardboard cutouts.
Oh, of course, cardboard cutouts. Of course, yeah.
You can now buy your Graham, Ashad, Jodie Whittaker, Joe Martin, or Sacha Dhawan life-size standee cardboard cutouts.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
It's a difficult choice though, mate. Who do you get?
You would be getting Sacha Dhawan.
Oh, I definitely would. They are now 70 quid.
Something to warm your bed at night.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, they're 70 quid, lad.
What?
A mental.
Not that I want one anyway, but why would you?
He does want one. He lies.
Oh, I don't know where to put it. That's ridiculous. Will you be indulging in any of the cardboard cutouts, George?
Probably not, lad.
Really?
I'll be honest, lad. Probably not. Definitely not. I'm not a big fan of cardboard cutouts. I think they're hilarious, but they're ridiculous at the same time.
They was the ones we were looking for, wasn't it?
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I can't do the impression.
Danny DeVito. There's a snake in my boot.
Oh yeah, we had the thing of Danny DeVito being
Woody from Toy Story. Which is mental.
There's a snake in my...
There's a snake in my boat.
So there we go. There's your news and merch. Sorry about this segment of the show, which normally goes to about 40 minutes, being cut off at 17.
Does this bit usually go on for 40 minutes?
Yeah, roughly.
Bloody hell, you're joking.
Well, normally we talk more about what we've done, and then there's a lot more news and merch to go over.
We could just talk about the coronavirus.
we could. Well, speaking of the coronavirus, do you want to talk about the plague?
The plague?
The plague.
Are we suddenly on Visitation now?
I think it's time for George Tucker's Synopsis Corner.
Okay. George Tucker's Synopsis Corner.
Yeah, my serenade's like the prelude to your build-up.
So, right. I'll be honest, I was playing the new Animal Crossing game whilst I was watching Visitation, but this is how it goes down. There's shooty stars, and one of them falls to Earth, and this girl's like, Father! Look at the amazing shooting stars! And his father's like, what's all this noise about? And she's like, oh shit, they're gone now. And he's like, it's fanciful, I don't like it. And then suddenly, they get attacked, and then they die. And then basically it's all like, title sequence.
I love the 80s theme.
Then we find the Doctor, Nisa, Tegan, and Adric on the TARDIS.
Tegan's ready to go.
Tegan's ready to go. She's heading back to the airport. And basically Adric's getting a bollocking from the Doctor. And then Adric's like, well, I always try so hard, and like all of that rubbish that Adric usually does. And then Nisa goes off to find Tegan, and is like, we're almost there. And then the Doctor's like, actually, we're not. We're 300 years too early, but let's go outside anyway. So they go outside, and they get basically confronted by a group of blokes. Then they beat up a group of blokes, and they come across a highwayman who offers his help. The Doctor asks, why is this a thing that why were these people attacking us? And it's because of the plague. Dun dun dun. Basically, the plague is in full throttle. We're talking like house isolation. We're talking. I can't make corona jokes. Basically, the Doctor now understands why these people are doing these things. The Doctor realises that this man has a weird bracelet around his neck. So the Doctor's like, can I take a look at that? The Highwayman's like, yes. The Doctor takes a look at it, and it turns out to be an alien artifact. And he's like, oh, maybe the shooting stars last night were actually an alien. Anyway, they go to the house, and it's completely abandoned, and they find a holographic door. They go through, and they find a bunch more techie stuff. Basically, as time goes on, it's a lot of back and forth. Basically, Nisa is trying to build a machine to get rid of these aliens. Adric's just being Adric.
He falls over like an idiot at the beginning.
He falls over. Yeah, he falls over like an idiot, and he's like, ah! and then he's like, they're like, you alright? And he's like, yeah, I'm alright. He's like, I'm fine. And then literally the next scene, the Doctor's like, Adric, fit for a climb? And he's like, yes. And Tegan's like, what you doing? You're injured. And he's like, don't worry, I'm better than you are. And then he climbs up the ladder. Yeah, anyway, things go on and everything. The Doctor meets up with the aliens. I've forgotten their names. What are they
Pteroleptiles.
called? The Pteroleptiles.
Don't forget the fact that Adric and Tegan get captured many, many times in this.
Oh yes, Adric and Tegan get captured many, many times. And then Adric escapes, but Tegan doesn't. Tegan gets enslaved. And basically indoctrinated into the cult.
She gets a cool bit of bling on her wrist.
Yeah, she gets a cool mind manipulating bracelet. Basically, the Doctor offers these alien foes to basically take them to a planet where they can live at peace. And the Pteroleptil is like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? I just want your TARDIS, and we're just gonna take your TARDIS. So a bunch of stuff goes on. They threaten to take the Doctor's TARDIS. Then it's all very like basic plot points. They destroy the sonic screwdriver as well. The Doctor's like trying to get out, and the Pteroleptil's like, "Oi, what's that?" The Doctor's like, "Nothing."
And I don't think you see it again until the 8th Doctor. I think.
Huh?
I think that was it written out for the 80s until the McGann film.
No, Colin Baker.
No, he doesn't.
I thought he used it at one point.
No.
Does he not use it?
No.
I swear he didn't just like whip it out every 10 seconds. You might be true there. Might be right. Yeah, you must be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically, yeah, the Doctor no longer has a screwdriver. And in the end, I think they literally like explode it all, don't they?
They link it back into the Great Fire of London.
Yeah. Somehow it all becomes the Great Fire of London. Basically, the Pteroleptils want to get rid of the human race.
With the plague.
So they enhance the plague and give it to some rats, and then they're like, oh, the rats are gonna kill everything. Well, the moment this slave girl takes the lid off, everything's gonna die. And the Doctor's like, Tegan, fight it, do the thing. And then she doesn't fight it because she's weak, because she's not as good as Adric.
Yes, that is the clear point.
That's the plot point. No, and then basically the Doctor like wrestles her. To get the thing.
It's really...
He does sort of like he sort of like leaps on her and is like, give me the skin, like. Yeah. And then in the end, you know, they head back to the TARDIS and everything's all right.
And then they're like, Doctor, aren't you going to stop the fire? And he's like, no, I think this one must continue.
Yeah, he's
and
like, oh.
They're like, why? And he's like, oh, I'll get to it at a later date. Don't worry about it. And then we cut to credits. So George,
and it's like Pudding Lane.
So George, what did you think of The Visitation?
It's a solid story. It's a classic Doctor Who story. It's not my favourite. It's not my least favourite either.
Do you know what? I really like this one.
Yeah?
I really like this one. I think it's a lot of fun. I think, you know, some elements haven't aged too well. But I think...
Indeed.
But I think it's one of the... Because the thing about classic Who is that sometimes even with the 4-parter, there's a part where nothing really happens. Where they're just wandering and like, you know... Well, it's normally like a part 2 or 3. But in this one, like, the plot's always moving along, I think.
Yeah.
And I think the character dynamics are especially interesting. And for the time, I think the design of the Pteroleptil was really interesting, actually.
It made me laugh all the way through when you can hear the guy under the mask being like, Ah, yes. Hello there, Doctor.
Yes.
Where he can't breathe under the mask.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just for some context to the episode, this has the Fifth Doctor in his regular season. I own this on Blu-ray. I should know what series it's from. Crap. From that series of Doctor Who, season 19. It's a 4-parter. It was directed by Peter Moffat, right?
Oh my god!
Written by Eric Saywood, and it was first broadcast from the 15th of February to the 23rd of February, because at that time they did 2 episodes a week.
Oh wow!
So there you go.
What a world to live in, when there are 2 episodes of Doctor Who a week.
So George, are there any outright negatives that stand out to you at this point?
Not really. No. Like I say, it's classic Doctor Who, so you can't. Well, you can't go wrong. I was going to say you can't go wrong. You can go wrong with some classic Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, there are some.
There are some stinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is what it is. What it is. What it isn't. It was good.
Yeah, I think especially I enjoyed the fact that this normally in classic Who, you get a massive cast. I like the fact this one's quite reduced. There's only our main companions, the Doctor, Mace, who is the Highwayman, and then also the Pterodactyl for most of the episode. The rest of it is just sort of like extras and what have you. But no, an interesting thing that I obviously we haven't watched we haven't watched the episodes that lead up to this before we watched this one. So seeing the Doctor pissed off for most of the episode is quite interesting. He's really annoyed throughout the entire thing, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's like at the beginning, he's like giving Adric a bollocking, and then he's like, well, why didn't you just say that? Could you just? He's like literally like having a go at his companions.
Bloody Adric can't do nothing right.
Adric can't. He tripped over, lad. Like
it's the way you did the scream. It was so accurate.
Ah! It is like
and then the Highwayman's like, can we steal a horse? And
because I'm tired, and the Doctor's like, yeah, sure.
It's a lot of fun. I think this one's a lot of fun. And I really like I like the plot as well. I think the plot of Pterodactyls wanting to steal the TARDIS, it's quite good.
Yeah.
Although they would reuse sort of this plot for Death of the Doctor and the Sarah Jane Adventures, I thought this plot was very good.
It's a very basic plot to have, really, isn't it?
Sometimes basic's better than the uber complicated plots that we have today, though. Of
course.
I like me some basic, and because I just say this, I enjoyed watching the story. I wasn't bored watching it because there's some classics where I'm just sitting there and I'm going,
and I'm like, oh god, another. How many parts is this? 6? Oh my god.
the only 6 or 7 parters I've really enjoyed all the way through were Genesis of the Daleks.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy. Have you seen Inferno?
Yes, I have.
I really enjoyed.
Very good.
And I really enjoyed the War Games. It's just 10 parts long. I don't know.
The War Games is great, isn't it?
Yeah, have you seen it yet?
Yes, of course.
It was bloody long. But yeah, it clocks in at about just over 3 hours. It's longer than Endgame.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I literally sat down and watched it in a single.
Really?
In a single sweep. Yeah, man.
So I watched this in a single sweep, and so did you. I think you've only watched it literally today.
I watched it earlier today, yeah.
Whereas I watched it last night. This is your first time viewing this one, though, isn't it?
All the way through, yeah.
Because obviously, if you don't know, me and George, obviously, we haven't seen I've not even probably seen a quarter of the classic series.
No, I've barely seen an 1/8, mate. I'll be honest. I have a bunch of episodes that I just haven't seen. In my person. I own episodes I haven't seen.
Own a lot of classic Who, and that's why this podcast is going to be good, because it will allow us to go and watch the ones that we've not seen just yet. But I think again the plot moves along nicely, because the pacing was really an issue, especially in I don't know how many 80s era episodes you've seen, but a lot in the 80s it's very much we have to go over here, then we go over here. Whereas this one, I like the fact they split the companions up for most of the story. Although there was a lot of stuff between Adric and Tegan, which is Adric going, "I'm better than you because you're a woman." And it's like,
yeah. There was one part where Tegan's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to loosen these boards," and he's like, "Let me do it. I'm stronger than you." And she's like, "Piss off! Leave me alone. I don't need you."
I watched this with my fancy box set, and they have.
I watched this with my fat.
On my fancy box set, they have a goggle box style thing called Behind the Sofa. And it was the 4 companions just watching this. And it was Tegan's, I think it's Janet Fielding, who was watching it beside Davison, and she was like, "I just think you're biased against Australians." He said, and they were just watching it, and they even got Ace to watch it as well, and the companion Turlo, who was later on in the... they got those guys. It's such a strange one, isn't it? Because it's set up to be that Tegan's going home. She's had enough, but she can't deal with it. She doesn't want to really go
because she ends up leaving in what's it called?
She ends up leaving.
It's a Dalek story, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like Davison's 4th story ever, and she leaves 2 before the end.
Yeah,
like so she wanted to leave for a long bloody time and still doesn't. But no, she's in like a flight uniform for the entirety of the episode as well.
Yeah, because she obviously wants to go home.
She's like, "I'm ready to go. Come on, Doc. What you doing?" And the Doc's pissed off at stuff.
At everything, yeah.
I think Tegan breaks the TARDIS at some point.
Yeah.
And then it's just the Doctor gets annoyed at that. The Doctor loses his hat. He can't have it. He's not. It's just a bad time to be the 5th Doctor, isn't it?
It is.
Just not having a good time. I do feel bad for Nyssa. She kind of gets just left in the TARDIS after like part 2. The Doctor's like, "Go back to the TARDIS," and we don't really see her again till the very end. I did enjoy the android though. I thought the android
dressed as Death sort of thing, and he's like, "Oh my god, I've just confronted Death and I've never been so scared." And he's like, "Yeah, it's not Death, mate."
And then the highwayman goes, "It's the plague." I love the way he says the plague in this. He says it's like 3 times, but it's just the way he goes, "The plague." It kind of feels like this character could be played by Matt Berry, and it would still be exactly the same.
The plague. It's the plague.
But now I want to talk about probably my least favourite part of the episode, which was the very beginning with that royal family. The acting in that scene was atrocious.
Father!
Not even just her.
It's beautiful!
And she's like, "Oh, it's gone." And he's like,
yeah. And he's like,
Well, that's how...
Yeah, he kept them going, like all the way through the bloody scene. It was annoying.
He's meant to have the plague.
The plague.
And then they start getting guns and they're just shooting.
Yeah, what's that about?
And then the Doctor's like, "Gunpowder," and it's the Doctor's. I always like it, and the Doctor starts eating random crap and sniffing stuff. I think it's fun. I think Davison's really good in this story. Actually, he does pissed off quite well, because there is some really cool ideas in here as well, like the door, like the brick wall.
The perception filter.
That was kind of the beginning of the perception filter and stuff. I mean, I really like the character of the Highwayman as well, just because he's sort of the eye of the audience, and he's like, "What the hell's going on here?" And throughout the entire time, he just wants to like sit down and he's kind of like Graham in The Haunting of Via Diodati, probably just looking for the toilet the entire time. It was weird because in this episode you really get a backstory for the pterodactyl as well, of him being beaten up in prison and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was like, "What?"
"You can only get scars like that from Kumfabi prison." He's like, "Yes, and you only get to Kumfabi prison for life. They'll find me if I leave Earth." It's like, no, they won't, mate. They didn't find you yet. Leave.
But did you like the design of the pterodactyls? Because I think they're one of the cooler designs of the classic era.
They look like giant cabbages.
Yeah, but they look better than the vervoids.
The vervoids. I knew you were going to say vervoids. Yeah, of course they look better than the vervoids.
I don't know, I really like the pterodactyls. They were set to come back, but they never did.
They are really cool designs. I'm drawing it now.
Yes.
So, like, it is genuinely a really cool
also,
design.
me and George have got face cam on in the Discord chat, so we just...
Oh, right, yeah. I sort of covered that up. with it. There you go. You're right, lad.
Hello.
I can see you now.
I can touch you now.
No. Oh, my God.
Coronavirus.
Oh, leave me alone.
Coronavirus.
I can touch you now.
First thing you say to someone when you see them.
Harry Potter, come to die.
That's what you say while the virus is still going on.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Oh my God. Come to die. You what? Harry. Oh, sorry. On my end, it just said you said. It just sounded like you said Harry Potter, come. I was like, whoa, lad, calm it down.
Jesus. But no, my least favourite parts of the episode is whenever Adric... It's normally Adric as well. It's never the Doctor. He's always like, you are weak. Let me do this. It's never...
Yeah.
The Doctor's like, yeah, Tegan, you do you. You do that thing. And then Adric's a little shit throughout. I mean, he falls over, and then he just bitches and moans the entire time.
Yeah. I'm going out to find the Doctor. No, if you do that, we're going to have to send a search brigade out for you. 2 minutes later, I'm going out to find the Doctor, and you can't stop me. And then he doesn't find the Doctor.
No, he comes back because he almost gets shot. And then I really like the mindless drone people that the pterodactyls were controlling.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where they're like, "Are you the Doctor?" And he's like, "Yes." Who's asking? And they just try and shoot him and throw axes at him and stuff.
Yeah, there's like an arrow that just comes through the door, and it's like, whoa, get out the way.
Get out the way. Move. Do you know what? I don't know whether you care for this, but I love it when Doctor Who stories link into real life stuff. So the fact that randomly at the end linked into the Great Fire of London, and you only get that one shot to kind of give you a hint of what it is with the shot of Pudding Lane.
Yeah.
I can't really think. Could you think of any other stories that really do that?
Well, there are loads, man. Think
off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, there's the entire Unicorn and the Wasp.
Yes.
Agatha Christie's disappearance and stuff like that, or the Love Labour's One as well in Shakespeare Code.
Good old
like
Shakespeare
that.
Code.
Shakespeare Code's so good.
What are they called? The villains.
Carrionites.
Yes, Carrionites. This I'll tell you what, mate. I know this isn't something that because you watch this on DVD because you're a peasant. But I watched this with the updated, upscaled stuff, and it looked really good. Especially the outside scenes. The upscaling they did was, it looked. I know obviously it's meant to be Blu-ray, but it did look HD quality, and you couldn't really tell there was an upscale. It didn't look it didn't look much better on this stuff that was shot in studio. They couldn't really do much with that. But the stuff outside was really good. Also, obviously we wouldn't be talking about the stuff about a modern day story, but the variety of location in the story, I think, is another really good point. Because normally in the classic era, you just get them running around different halls, and it'd be the same room.
I mean, we got our fair share of that, I think.
Oh yeah, but now
in this one where they were reusing the same barn scene for like every single barn, and
but then they were going to the forest, and there was the stuff in London as well. I thought, if anything, the bit at the end in London's a bit rushed. It's like the last
I agree
5 minutes, and then you're like, oh, that's it.
I was going to say, it got to the point where like the third part was ending, and I sort of thought, how are they going to wrap this up in 20 minutes?
And then,
but they did it.
And then the beginning of the fourth part, as you said, is somewhat funny, and it's of the time, but the action where the Doctor's trying to like bring Tegan back, and he's like, I don't know how you describe it, he's like trying to lift her up, but like...
Yeah.
It just looked a bit awkward for both actors, really. I don't know how to explain all that. And also, one thing that was really weird, I don't know whether they explained it, but like, Adric's a blimmin' blabbermouth. He, like, whenever the pterodactyl first...
He was like, what is this machine? He's like, that's the TARDIS. Who is this man? And Tegan's like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, it's the Doctor.
And then 5 minutes later, he's like, I shouldn't have told them.
I shouldn't have told them that.
No shit.
Alright, Hagrid, calm down.
No shit, mate. You know, it's just, I love Adric for all the wrong reasons. Poor bloke. I mean, he gets offed, I think, in the next story. Let me check. Is
Earthshock.
Is Earthshock? I think it might be. No, it's Black Orchid.
I'll never know if I was right.
And then I think it's Earthshock. Yes, it is. So he's got 2 more stories to exist within the show. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like Adric in the story, he's got some kind of problem.
Yeah.
It's like he's not acting on his own accord. It's like, I shouldn't have done that, and then and he'll bitch and moan and bitch and moan and bitch and moan some more. I like the fact that we get one pteroleptil for most of the story as well. I think
rather than having multiple.
Having a group of fish people would have been hilarious. I think I love the design of his have his face missing as well.
Yeah, and he's like, this is not part of my physiology, doctor.
And the doctor's
I got these scars in prison.
And the doctor's like, nah, shit.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Fuckity bye.
Fuckity bye. Yeah.
It's just it's a random it's a strange world out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, I've got to give credit to the props department as well, because there's a lot of really cool props and stuff. I know we're kind of skipping through the story. Sorry, we're not really following linear here, but
that's alright. That's what the synopsis was for.
The ending where the pteroleptils are on fire and you see them bubbling, and so I don't know whether you're that looked really actually quite good. They looked quite gruesome because they were like dripping and melting.
Very like Indiana Jones.
Yes, very much so. I thought it looked like the effects looked quite good for the story. None of the effects made me go. You know.
We all know the type.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Talons of Weng Chiang?
No,
There's a giant rat. Apart from the obvious stuff which we mentioned.
I know we all look the same, Doctor. Oh my god. Even coming out of my mouth, I felt bad saying it, even though it's literally a quote from the episode.
If you look past it, it's a very good story. And I'm serious. It's in the top 10 of all time according to Doctor Who magazine. So,
like a. Oh my
in
god.
hindsight, they're probably like, that's a bad.
Yeah, that's probably not the best.
The BBC, the BBC are like, oh no. Once again, though, I mean, obviously you don't know much about writers and stuff, but this is done by Eric Saywood, who is a very, very, very good writer who will get up some of his stories now. Just to let you know, because obviously you might not have seen them, but you know the general consensus of most Who stories. So he did Earthshock.
Fantastic, good.
Resurrection of the Daleks, which I believe is...
That's the episode that Tegan leaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also he did a Revelation of the Daleks, which...
Oh, cool.
He also... He had uncredited duties as a script editor on The Awakening, The Twin Dilemma, Attack of the Cybermen, and The Trial of a Time Lord.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I have no idea who decided that The Twin Dilemma...
Was it? It was good. It's good enough to go out.
I mean, to be fair to Eric, there is no script editor that can make that anywhere decent.
God, Twin Dilemma.
It's just, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't get some of the 80s classic Who. It's going to be interesting to go back and watch one that is notoriously crap. That's going to be a fun episode. Because the issue with it, we chose one that was easier for us to get, but we just chose a really solid episode of Who. And when an episode's solid, it's sort of like...
It's difficult to talk about it.
It's difficult to talk about it. I mean, especially a story like this where there's nothing that outrageous happens that we can go, that was a really, really, really cool moment. This is just one... If I had to put it into a modern series context, it's almost like a Amy's Choice type thing. It's just a really, really solid mid-tier, middle of You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
Like, Amy's Choice, obviously, is probably not the best example, because there's a lot you talk about there within the relationship between the Doctor and Amy and Rory and all that, and what's going on. But it's just a really, really solid story where it doesn't have many problems, but it's not trying to blow your socks off.
Yeah.
And be one of the best stories of all time. But I'd say
it was to be the very best.
Like no one ever was.
Ding, 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 ding.
To catch them is my real test.
To get copyrighted is a cause.
Copyright, gotta claim 'em all.
Our loyalties are of use.
Oh, YouTube.
Are fair use.
YouTube, you are my friend.
You sue me and I'll refute you. Copyright.
Gotta claim 'em all. Gotta claim 'em.
Gotta claim 'em all.
Copyright.
Nintendo sucks.
It does for copyright, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I think you just turned it against yourself from last week. I was like literally shouting at me for like 20
Nintendo
minutes.
Is great at making video games.
I like Nintendo. Nintendo Wii.
What were you saying before we broke out into song?
I was just talking about how solid the episode was, and then I talked about. I was gonna say the best parts of the episode is when we had this a lot in series 12 as well. It's when the Doctor's confronting the pterodactyl.
Yeah.
I like those scenes where he's just like, I can help you, and the pterodactyl's like, no.
Why would I want your help? And he's like, because I'm nice. Just take.
I like how that is the Fifth Doctor in a nutshell. It's just, I'm nice. I'm trying to help you.
I'm nice. Just come with.
You know.
Great.
I'm not trying to kill you for once. And it's.
I'm like the only thing on this planet that's not gonna try and kill you.
And chill
out.
Again, I think Davison's doing a really good job here, because I really like when he's just so blunt towards the highwayman. Where he's like, Nyssa, we're wasting time, and it's just.
Yeah.
It's fun. Anyway, before we wrap it up, I mean, this time I think we can talk about characters, because Classic Who is much more built on that than new series. So what do you think about Richard Mace, played by Michael Robbins? That's the highwayman.
He's a good character, wasn't he? He's a good bit of comedy relief, I think.
Yeah, it's very hammy, but you can tell it's meant to be. Like they're
yeah.
Because everyone else in this story is sort of like down to earth and regular, except Mace, who's like, what the biggins is this? And
yeah.
he's got a very gravelly voice. I really like him. Throughout the story, I was like, this is a side character in Classic Who that's not getting on my nerves.
Yeah, which is rare.
You know, especially the scene where he's like, I'm not going to do it unless you get me a horse. Also, I love it when he randomly starts talking to the donkey after the I think it's like the Undertaker or something. It's just like, obviously they're under the control of the pterodactyl, and he just ignores the Doctor and Mace. So he gets on his horse and just rides away, and the Mace is then like, "Do you think you'd be strong enough to hold me?" I think he's just a really fun presence to have, especially when the Doctor's in a mood for most of the episode. It's kind of nice to have someone that's light-hearted, because if you think about it, everyone's in some form of mood in the regular TARDIS team. The Doctor's just pissed off. Tegan wants to go home but doesn't want to go home. She's conflicted. Adric's a little shit for the entire thing, and Nissa's just Nyssa, unfortunately. Actually, no, there is that cool scene that we could talk about quickly where Nyssa defeats the robot using her.
Yeah, and she's like, I didn't want to kill it. It's like, but it tried to kill you, and he's like, yeah, but it's like a slave, isn't it?
Yeah. But I don't know whether you were watching, but did you see the effect they had on for that? Where they made the
No, I didn't.
So she turned the machine on, and then what they did was they just made the screen go slightly fuzzy.
Oh right, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
It was just, and then obviously she's wearing her headphones, which actually look pretty standard of today's headphones, all things considered. That this was a mid '80s story, and she's just jazzing out to the tunes. Also, they were talking about this behind the sofa, but the explosion for the robot was a lot bigger than they thought it would be. So apparently, it slightly caught fire and stuff, and they had to put it out.
Oh my god!
And they thought it was gonna be like a little pop, and then it would just but no, it was a massive, and it went up like the Great Fire of London. But no, I do like that scene between Nyssa and Adric where Nyssa's like, oh, I didn't want to destroy it, a good piece of machinery, and Adric's like, well, it's going to kill you, and then she's like, no, it's a slave. I like having companions that aren't just from Earth.
That have morals, yeah.
And also aren't just from Earth, because it makes good dynamics like this. I think out of these three, the only one that's actually from Earth is
Tegan.
Tegan.
Yeah.
And Tegan's from Monday. Why don't we get
and she's from Australia.
Doctor Who was against the White Englishman in the Fifth Doctor era. Even though the Doctor's a White Englishman.
A White Englishman.
But someone would probably make a video if they discovered it. Look, I saw again, but we need to fill time here. We had no news segment and stuff. I saw a video where there was this YouTuber called Boulderstreak, I don't know, and he literally Boulderstreak, yeah. And he literally he made a point in his Timeless Child review that of course the Timeless Child is not a white man because the BBC is too, and I was like, oh my god, what's the world going to, eh? But no, going back to our characters, what did you think of the pterodactyl leader, who was our main villain? I thought, again, another solid performance.
Yeah, man, it was good. I got a laugh at the prosthetics and the way he was like breathing through it, and it would be like, take them down to the dungeon.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Michael Molina, who was in the suit.
Oh my god.
Even them I think it was Sophie Aldred, who was like, that's a big rubber suit that they were wearing on the studio set. They must have been boiling. Because obviously, if you don't know, guys, most of these classic serials were just done on the BBC studio sets. They would do minimal stuff on the outside. Coronavirus.
Oh my god.
But I think it's one of the better, especially for the 80s era villains. I think it's one of the better ones that I've seen for sure.
Yeah.
Again, I just love.
I agree with that.
I like the look of his base as well. Although it's generic 80s sci-fi, it looked quite spacious, which you normally don't get with these sets. I actually thought obviously the set design, as you said, was very. It was very similar. But I thought the actual sci-fi sets were quite interesting. I don't know about you, but I thought every ship looked a bit different.
Yeah, I suppose. I agree with that. Are you just talking about, like, in general Doctor Who, or...?
Yeah, no, I was talking more in the story, because you get 3 different ships. You get the TARDIS, which the TARDIS always looks good. Also, by the way, why in Modern Who do we never get more TARDIS rooms? Like in this one, we go to like Tegan's room and she's getting ready.
I know, yeah.
Nissa's room. Adric, you don't get a room, you little shit. But would you like to see more of that in?
I would. It's like I really liked. The only reason I liked Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS was because we got to see more of the TARDIS. You know, and it was like. It was just like going around seeing like the Doctor's library and everything, and the history of the Time War. All of that sort of stuff was really cool.
I'm not looking forward to when we do Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS. Do
you not like it?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember being fond of it. I'll be honest. I don't think I've seen it since broadcast. The only bits of it I like is obviously Smith, but I remember those brothers. The subplot with the brothers. Yeah,
and one of them's actually. Well, the android is actually the brother, and it's like, your brother but dad died, and we wanted a joke.
Yeah, so what did you...
It is a bit ridiculous.
So what do you think about Tegan in this one? Tegan gets quite a bit to do. I'd put it out of 3. She's the one that has the most to do.
Yeah.
She gets captured a lot.
I was going to say, she gets captured for most of it, and then there's like, piss off Adric, so Adric leaves her. And then she gets like captured and detained and... all that stuff.
Yeah, she gets captured and detained, but she's actually stronger-willed than Adric, and I like the little bit of that where she appears to be a bit more stronger than Adric.
Yeah.
Because as we mentioned before, Adric is. If you guys don't know, I'm not a massive fan of the character of Adric. I don't know how George is on him.
He's a bit of a meme, really, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just.
Now I'll never know if I was right.
I really like him in Earthshock. Have you actually seen the episode of Earthshock? I really like.
Yeah, of course I have.
I like him in that one. I think he's really good in that one because I think Matthew Waterhouse is actually, obviously Matthew Waterhouse was a young kid at the time, so we can't really have a go at him for putting effort in. It was really whether he could be bothered or not, I guess, as a kid.
Yeah.
But
ignore that a massive voice crack that I just had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I thought Tegan was good in this one, for sure. There's definitely been episodes of Classic Who where the companions gets nothing to do. And they're just sort of wandering around. And I was really worried with Mace around that they would just sort of push Tegan to the side, but they didn't really do that. Even when they were in the cellar and stuff, Tegan was the one coming up with the ideas. They gave Tegan quite a bit to do, and I like the bit at the start where you could tell Tegan's a bit sad about leaving, even though all she bloody wants to do is go out to Heathrow Airport. It's a mess. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really get the character. Do you get the character standpoint of her wanting to go out to Heathrow and she can travel in the TARDIS?
Yeah, well, she just wants a normal life, doesn't she? And then eventually it does just get too much for her, and she decides to leave. And never go back to Heathrow.
Never go back to bloody Heathrow Airport. I think she gets mentioned in Sarah Jane Adventures. At the end of Death of the Doctor, doesn't she? Because for some reason they mentioned in that episode that Ian and Barbara have just never aged.
They never age, and that they're still alive and shit. No, I don't think she gets mentioned. I'm
fairly sure they mention an Australian. Because
maybe.
They mention Ace. That's where she goes. And someone in Australia has been doing this. So I guess she went back to Australia.
But then, how? Because she left. That wasn't modern time, was it?
The Dalek story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, cool.
I suppose so. Otherwise, she'd just want to. I assume she'd want the Doctor to take her back in the TARDIS. Poor old Turlo.
Turlo, yeah.
He's not in the story, but someone that is Nyssa, Sarah Sutton. I feel sorry for Nyssa.
Because she didn't have much to do.
She's sort of I don't mean to be rude, but she's sort of your typical how they would write women in classic Doctor Who. She's sort of out of the three of the companions, the weakest and the most feeble.
Phew! Coronavirus. Hello. Right.
But she's sort of the one. She has some ideas, like she blows up the robot and has that nice moment. But apart from that, in the rest of the story, she sort of follows the Fifth Doctor around in parts 1 and 2, heads back to the TARDIS, sits there for an episode and a half, and then blows up a robot.
Hell yeah.
That's practically all she doesn't really add anything like Tegan does. And similar with Adric. I feel bad for her in this story.
Yeah.
She doesn't get much to do.
I can definitely see where you're coming from, because it is literally like for most of it she's just trying to fix that machine.
Yeah, and even when
failing.
Even when she's in the story, she's either following the Doctor around, or they rarely cut back to her in the TARDIS fixing the machine.
Yeah.
Because obviously that plot isn't important, and we just who wants Nyssa around. And then finally, let's get on to the meme himself, Matthew Waterhouse, Adric. Well, I mean, to be fair, he has his moments of being an absolute plonker, but for the most part, he didn't annoy me too much.
No?
It just makes me laugh whenever he falls on the floor.
You alright? Yeah, I'm alright, I'm good.
Because what's the purpose of the story? He's fine again. If he was injured the whole episode, that would have made sense.
Yeah.
But he's fine. He just continues. He's never like.
It's literally like, ready for a climb, Adric? Yeah, I'm alright. Let's go.
And then I think it's like Tegan. It's like, you should be resting. And he's like, nah, I'm alright, love.
I'm better than you.
And then for the rest of the story, I don't think they ever mention it again.
No, they don't.
I think that's it. It's just. Do you think they knew that Adric was a complete bit of wet lettuce, and they were just like, let's take the mick out of him as much as possible? Do you think they?
Imagine. Do
you think they knew they had an absolute conquer on their hands?
Maybe.
And they were just like, look, guys, we need to just.
Adric's just a bit shit.
Yeah. That's just,
we'll get rid of him in Earthshock.
However, I do feel a bit of sympathy for Adric at the end when he does fly the TARDIS, and this is like, what would the Doctor do? And he's like, probably be really annoyed. And she's like, I told you to be. blah de blah, not I told you to be sympathetic, not And then he smacks the TARDIS. I did like that moment.
And it starts to work. He punches it,
and then as soon as he gets there, the Doctor's still pissed off at him. At that moment, I was kind of like, hang on, poor Adric.
What have I told you about piloting the TARDIS? Shut up.
And the Doctor's like, you finally got here then, and I'm like, what do you expect the poor bugger to do? That's the only time I was Team Adric. I was like, poor Adric there. I mean, I assume when I went really, I assume you didn't like Adric in this one too much.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Adric as a whole. I think he's very annoying. He doesn't do much in like any story that he's in. I'll be honest. He sort of is just there.
He sort of just mopes about for the entire runtime.
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally...
Yeah, so it's just a bit meh.
And finally, the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison, who I got to say is doing a great performance throughout.
Yeah, I love Peter Davison. He's great.
I think he could be the most underrated Doctor behind William Hartnell,
Yeah, he's my second favourite Doctor, I believe, like, of all time.
Because I know that Pertwee is your favourite?
Yeah, Pertwee's my favourite.
Are you talking just...
For a very long time... Peter Davison was my favourite Doctor.
So you said when you say that Pertwee's your favourite, are you including modern Doctors or not?
Huh?
When you say that Pertwee's your favourite, are you including the modern Doctors in that?
Yes.
So your favourite modern Doctor is your third favourite Doctor?
Yeah.
And that would be Tennant, right?
No.
Smith.
I don't really know anymore.
I feel like we need to do an episode where we rank the Doctors.
No, because I don't like ranking Doctors.
Does it make you, does it make you feel bad? Is it like ranking your
yeah?
Is it like ranking your children?
It's like ranking my children. Yeah. No, it's more of just like I just feel like they're all quite good in their own ways, and every time there's a new Doctor, it's pretty much a new show.
True.
It just has the same tropes,
Yeah, I mean, I think Davison's really good here especially because he has that really annoyed acting, which I don't really like that part of the character when he's just annoyed at them at the beginning for no reason. I don't really know what they were going for there.
Yeah.
But I really like when he's just like, I like it when he's annoyed at Blimmin, who's his face? Hang on, I'm going to get his name out. Richard Mace.
Yeah.
I like it when he's annoyed at him. I like it when he's just being a bit funny and bumbling. When he's out and about and he's just having a good time and I like being around Davison's Doctor. You know that question you get, which Doctor would you like to travel with?
Yeah.
I think Davison would be up there for me. Because I know it'd just be like a nice leisurely stroll that would probably go wrong.
Yeah.
Rather than looking for trouble. Because I like the fact
you just stumble around into it, yeah.
I like the fact he's at the beginning, they're like, well, should we just change the time? And he's like, no, let's go out for a walk. And then they're like, alright.
Yeah, sure, let's do this.
And then it's just yeah, I don't know, I really like his performance. What do you think about Davison in this one?
I think it was great, yeah. It like you say, it's when the Doctor is being all confrontational and everything with like everybody, not just the enemies, but with everybody, is when I think the Doctor is at their best. Because obviously it's supposed to be believable that the Doctor is an alien, and if he's or if they are constantly going around being like, oh yeah, I know the right thing to say at the right time with everything, then it makes them feel more human, and I don't want that. It's like at the beginning of the episode when Tegan gets really annoyed and they're like, oh, maybe you should go and speak to her, and he's like, nope, enough has been said, and then they look at him and he's like, humans. Like, I really like it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Like, again, do you know what? I think this episode does a 3-person companion team a lot better than Series 12.
Yes.
And I mean that because although we said Nyssa doesn't have a lot to do, she still has something. Where there have been episodes where Graham's just looking for the toilet the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's a lot better. I mean, disabling a machine is a lot better than
looking for the toilet.
Yeah, at least in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, in a lot of people's opinion, that's probably going to be a bit better. No, I agree with that, yeah.
But no, again, like you say, I think Davison in this one gets a lot to do in his acting range.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the stronger parts, again, that he gets a lot of variety, because there are some episodes, especially in the classic era, where the Doctor's sort of just the person that explains things.
Yeah, I found that a lot in like series 11. You know,
especially with Whittaker. But there's that. I mean, one that comes to mind. It's always I love Pertwee, but there's some episodes where Pertwee's just, well, this is this thing and it does this, and
well, yes, Sarah, it's this. Yeah, and it's like,
and then unit soldiers do all the shooty and the action while the Doctor just stands there.
Well, Joe, it's just a door handle.
Like one of the best episodes, or for me anyway, is part 3 or 4 of the Sea Devils, where he gets in the sword fight with the Master.
Oh yes,
I love it.
And he eat the cucumber sandwich.
Yeah, it's good fun. Anyway, is there anything else you want to mention before we get on Schools and Doors? Actually, I thought the music was really good in this one as well. I
didn't really pay attention to music, I'll be honest.
I love me some classic Doctor Who music because obviously it's all electronic and stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, what do you think of the 80s theme? Because I think it's one of the best themes.
Whenever
I hear it, I'm just like, let's go. I don't know how I feel about the title sequence. The title sequence is a bit basic, but the theme itself,
I can see that.
I really love the McCoy one as well. The Sylvester McCoy theme is really good. I just really like. I like 80s music anyway. Some of it, not all of it. Some of it goes off the rails, but no, I thought music was good in this one. Anyway, mate, Scores on the Doors. I'll let you go first this week. What are you going to give the Visitation out of 10?
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
This one. Again, I think we are. It's interesting. I think obviously the detriment to this podcast is that we had the same opinion on every single.
Yeah.
Normally, when we disagree, we stretch it out. Like the last podcast with The Witcher and The Flash was. Like the first. It was
very long.
No, it wasn't very long.
And angry.
It was just the last half an hour was us arguing. Whereas if we didn't argue, we would have wrapped up in 5 minutes, which is sort of what this one's done. I mean, we've talked for about 50 minutes about this episode, which is long enough, but we didn't really get any debates going about anything because we didn't disagree.
No.
Which obviously, sometimes it's nice just for us to have a chat about an episode, because we didn't actually know our opinions about this one going to fall. I mean, George only just watched this episode today. I didn't ask him beforehand what we thought, so I was hoping he'd enjoy this one because it's good. I like it.
Indeed, yeah.
I don't know what next classic. Me and George during this time in quarantine, we'll have a chat together and work out a list of episodes just for you guys, because you guys have asked. Some of you guys have actually asked me if you guys can send in reviews and stuff. If I can find a way.
Nice! Yes!
If I can find a way to make that work. And
maybe just set up an email.
Yeah, I'll set up an email and stuff and get it going.
thetimelesspodcast.gmail.com.
And
it won't be that because that's probably already taken.
It could be. So yeah, and you guys have still been asking about Spotify, Spotify and iTunes and all that, and unfortunately because of revenue and stuff. It's just not financially beneficial for me.
But join our Patreon that we don't have.
I think once this isolation period's done, if it's done, when it's done, I mean we could make. Excuse my voice. We could make it now actually. With this isolation period, we could do watch-alongs and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
For you guys, that would be great. That could be a cool little extra feature. Audio tracks for the episodes. We wouldn't be able to do much classic Who for that one because it would obviously there's parts to that, but we could definitely do some modern stories, episode commentaries, that sort of thing. But we'll work that out anyway. I just want to. So obviously, if you're keeping along with the Schools and the Doors, because I know some of you will shoot me a message and be like, "Well, I thought this episode was that." So George gave it a 7 out of 10, and I gave it an 8.
Yeah, go ahead and leave in the comments and stuff. We'll be happy to see that and all that good stuff. Today's been a lot chiller.
Yeah,
podcast. I feel like we needed this.
It's been nice, and I just want to say for anyone listening, I know obviously I do have some online friends that I've met through the Doctor Who community, but if any of you are alone or just feeling a bit worried, you can always drop me a message on Twitter. I'm always going to reply. I'll reply to anyone if you guys genuinely have any worries.
He does actually reply to everybody. It's a serious condition. We're trying to get through it.
But in all seriousness, if you guys are feeling just a bit lonely and want to chat, just drop me a message on Twitter. I'll be sure to say hello. If you got that's just be safe. I think that's me and George both feel this way.
Yes.
In this time,
don't take any risks, guys. This coronavirus stuff isn't
a joke.
Joking about. It's genuinely going to affect thousands and thousands of people. It's going to be mental over the next couple of months, but we have to stick together and we have to keep on doing what we're doing.
And guys,
I think the main rule is just to try to be as normal as possible and keep a routine that is similar to what you would have used to have done. If you still need to do work, work in the hours that you would have been working. If you need to go out for a walk, use that one mode of exercise each day to do that,
Yeah.
We just have to not give up as a communicative race. We have to not give up.
Also, guys, I know obviously we're not scientists, but it will get better. Believe it will get better. We don't know when. We don't know how long it'll take. But we know there's some good news in the world right now. Italy's death rate and new cases are on its fifth lowest for 5 days running, which is good. If that's a good sign, if anything. Obviously, China are doing a lot better these days. They've just announced that on the 6th of April you'll be able to enter Wuhan. You'll be able to travel into Wuhan, which is awesome. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't know how long it will be for the UK. Just remember as well, guys, if you do all the isolation stuff, you may make it go faster. If you guys if
you guys are contributing to trying to get the world into a better place and make it into a better place, this is all going to be over faster for everybody.
And if you guys are worried about grades and stuff, unfortunately, it's just that time, isn't it? I mean, all I can say to you is that all we can do is hope. If you're one of the students that is looking to go to university this year, all I can say is...
I know we are.
All I can say, especially if you're waiting on for you guys to get a grade, all I have to say is I hope they're a bit more lenient with their unconditional offers, and even if they're conditionals, even if you don't get what they say, hopefully they'll be a bit more lenient this year. That's all I can hope. Luckily for me and George, we both got our places confirmed. And I got an email from my university of choice saying that I'm fine. I don't know whether you got anything from Falmouth yet. Sorry, I just revealed where you're going to. I'll go to Cardiff, so there you go. Big city. I've just revealed where George is going. It would be fair too. But no, guys, sorry that this podcast is slightly shorter than normal. I believe we're doing Mandalorian next week now. It's been confirmed.
Yes, we'll be doing the 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. First 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I believe they're coming out weekly after that. So what we'll do now, if this works for you, mate, I think there were 8 parts to Mandalorian. So for the next few weeks, what we'll do Doctor Who, which is this week, Mandalorian, then Doctor Who, then Mandalorian, and so on and so forth. Just to give you guys a bit of variety, because I know some of you guys don't enjoy the non-Doctor Who episode as much. So we'll give you guys some variety, so we keep the Doctor Who rolling. Our next Doctor Who podcast in 2 weeks' time will be on the episode The Beast Below.
Are we doing Beast Below?
Yeah. So we're going to do one Modern Who episode a month, one Classic Who episode a month.
Nice, cool.
And next time I'll mention to George, we'll work out a Classic episode we've both never seen before. Because I think that would be interesting to not know what to expect as well. But until then, guys, please just stay safe. And look after yourselves. And
Indeed.
We'll see you guys next week.
Alright. See you later.